Then we're gonna go with then we're gonna go with that. You know what I'm talking about? Then we should be up in, you know what I mean? Ready to work. KIU Conversations podcast where we chop it up, you know what I'm talking about? Have conversations about life with real champions like my Brodowski. You hear me, big baby? Yeah. Like my Brodowski. You feel me? We on, champ. You already know, Brody. I'm just waiting for my guy to be there any second. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Let me send it to him. You know what I'm saying? Straightforward. P. I see y'all making waves, man. The dream house. Keep it up, champ. I see you, Daddy O. Joe, what's up, little bruh? You know what I mean? We just having these casual conversations. You know, we just chop it up, talk about life. You know what I mean? All that good. Oh, there you go. There goes the champion. There goes the champ. My parent. You know, it's gonna come through. Slow motion, little bro. You know how we do it. Little sis, I see you. Know what I mean? Where my guy at? Unable. Wait a minute. Don't do this. Don't treat my brother like this. You hear you? There you go.
They say slow mo is better than no
That's
mo.
what I was told. Do you hear me, champion?
I do.
That's what I was
Hey,
told. You know what I'm saying?
I got a little, I got a little surprise for you too.
Is that right, champ?
You know, I'll be full of them sometimes.
I know you
You
do.
know,
I know
cause
how
I,
you do it.
cause I appreciate your support, right?
Oh, come on, champion. This is what
So
we
you
do.
do know how I'm starting mine, right?
Oh, come on, man. You come on, man. Nothing but salutations.
And and you do know how I'm starting
Come
mine,
on,
right?
champion. Talk to me, man.
Ti- No,
KI, big
oh,
baby.
you said you wanted to talk then. So
Come
let me show you how I'm starting mine then.
damn, talk damn, champ.
Let me show you how I'm starting mine then.
Right?
Them all full, all of them is full sweatsuits. Every one of them got the pants to it, top, bottom,
Mm,
hat, all them. That's about five of them. Plus I got one on. And there's a couple of them in the laundry and shit like that. There's
come
a
on,
couple hats. I only got
champion.
one head. There's a couple hats back there that I could have. I just wanted to show you,
Ah, damn,
what
champion.
what real support
Come on, man.
looks like, champ.
I appreciate you beyond words, champion. You already know that, parent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes,
and you make
sir.
it look. And
Yes,
the thing
sir.
about it, right? You make it look good doing it, though, champ. That's the part right there. You know, a lot of people
Do
do it,
you
but you
hear
make it
you?
look good when you do it, champ.
Do you hear you?
Come on, man. You feel me?
Do you hear you, man? I
Yeah,
look as good as
man.
those around me, champ. I look as good as those around me. So salute and let's pop this thing off. This is long overdue.
Definitely, champ. Definitely, champ. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Um, this whole KIU thing is about giving flowers to not
yes,
only entrepreneurs, businessmen, fathers, but
yes.
those who are
Right,
resilient, those who've been through things in life. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And
right,
who persevered and kept it up, who KIU through whatever it was put in front of them. You dig?
right.
So it was only right that I bring my guy on here. You know, we've been acquainted and in each other's presence for many moons. You know what I mean? Through many different
Yes.
scenarios. So I mean, you know what I mean? Why not do it now? You did.
Come on, man. I finally made it to KIU conversation, man.
It's a
I'm more
pleasure.
excited than you, champ.
It's a pleasure, champ. It's a pleasure, champ. So let
Yes.
me see. Let me get my. You know what I mean? So
Hit me. Hit me, because this one is finna get there.
okay,
This one's
talk to
finna
us
go
then.
there.
We're gonna start off light up. So, what schools did you go to growing up?
Growing up, I went to Aptis. From Aptis, I went to Lincoln,
Okay.
and that's what it was.
What was
Went
Aptus like? I know because I was a Catholic school kid. You know what I mean? I was praying and begging to get to Aptus. You understand me? I just catch the M that way, just so I can
Hey,
catch the K that way, so I catch the bus back with the guys. You understand me? What was Aptus like back in the days when you was growing up?
hey, Aptis was wild back in the day, man. Nigga, rest in peace, nigga. I remember EB coming up to the school in the nada with the blue and white one on the gold one.
Mm,
Like this is when I was in middle school, he was coming up to my school and dropping people off and shit like that, and I remember driving my dad's Mercedes Benz to school and wrecking it in the 8th grade. That was also Aptis.
now.
Yeah. Now,
So,
so that's how
so-
Aptis was for me,
okay,
babe.
okay,
It,
okay.
it
So,
was kind of the beginning of it all.
what was Lakeview like back then for you? Or how what was it like growing up in Lakeview?
At that time, I just kind of like I wasn't really allowed to come out like that. I could come out on my block
Yeah.
and I would associate with all the guys on my block.
Hmm.
At that time, I was too young to be trusted
Right.
to go over the hill yet.
Right.
That
Right.
didn't start until like Lincoln,
Right. I got
as
you.
soon as yeah. But at that point in the 8th, I knew, man, one of my best friends was Noel Turner. Nigga, rest in peace,
Right.
NT. Like
NT
I
really
knew
need.
I knew certain niggas from middle school
Yeah.
and not the block
Right.
like that yet.
Yeah.
Moo all them, Moo Paris, NT, and you feel me? A bunch of them, man. So yeah, at that time, I couldn't tell you then
Right.
what it was like.
I can relate to a certain extent because I knew how it was because we grew up on the cusp of the other side of the hill, so it was different things going on. So I know we used to have our thing going on one side of the hill, you know what I mean? And
Right,
then if you didn't live on that side, you start to explore, you know what I mean? Or you got family, or you playing basketball and all shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? So
right.
you get to exploring, you know what I mean? One of the viewers said, "How old are you?" QFC.
Hey, take one guess first.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I love to see people because they never guess it.
Right.
But since we don't have time for them to chime in and really guess, I just made a whole 47
A
this
general,
August.
a real dinosaur.
Yes, a real dinosaur,
Come on,
nigga.
man. so,
Nigga, what you
so you said
mean?
like you stayed on the block and you wasn't really allowed to venture out that far. What was your household like growing up?
Household life growing up, it was crazy because I was the young rebellious one, right?
Hmm.
Like my two brothers, Chuck and Pook, they didn't really get in trouble like that. They wasn't it, but it was just me, the curious mind. My dad, rest in peace, Poppy,
Rest in peace.
was senior probation officer Charles Jones.
Right.
So, I had a good example, a good home, mother, father there, family atmosphere.
Yeah.
I had just got attracted to the streets and I could never turn back. It wasn't out of poverty. I wasn't one of them kids that needed to do it. I was one of them kids that it was in me to do.
Right. 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 Right.
You know what I'm talking about? So growing up then, like I say, I had a strong family background. They was Christian family going to church all the time, all that type of shit.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
So,
that's what it was,
so you basically
honestly.
you grew up with a probation officer in your house. So, like you said, you had structure
Yeah,
and you had um,
yeah,
good examples and things like that are in your house. So you had a two-parent household.
yeah. I actually had that.
Right.
And I was blessed to have it.
Right, right. Definitely, definitely. So what was your
Definitely.
what was your first experiences over the hill in Lakeview? You know what I mean? When you started to get in high school in Lincoln, what was your first experiences that you can remember?
So me and my guy, SB, Baby Kookna. Man, we used to be in class together and all that, man. He knew my brother. They was like hella close.
Yeah,
I knew Rob, his older brother. They all that took a liking to me and this and that. And then plus, you understand me, two of my closest friends who are more like my brothers in this world, and I call them my brothers. And if anybody say anything other than that, nigga is up. But the two twins, Damon and Raymond. I see Raymond tapped in already. What
yeah,
up, Raymond G? They lived on Bright Street,
yeah.
right there, Bright and Randolph.
Hmm.
So we would some days like we had gotten close, and then some days I would catch the bus home with them, and then some days they'll catch the 29 home with me.
Yeah,
And so I got that M life. You know how that M life was, all the
right,
way from the West Portal station
right. You get to see a whole
back
lot.
to the view. It was up by the time they went to Stonestown half the
Right.
time. Straight up. But yeah, that's what it is. So we would switch off, and then, like I say, S and Rob, you know how heavy they were, to Randolph.
Right,
You see what I'm saying? They had took a great liking for me and was like, "Fuck that, nigga, you good, nigga, you stay right there on the nigga, and plus, nigga, you like our family and everything, nigga." So I started coming over the hill to fuck with the two twins on Bright, and then we'd walk down there, and we'd be on Randolph with all my people down there, and this and that. Some would look and be like, the fuck this nigga doing over here, or
right,
this and that, whatever. It's always tension when new motherfuckers pull up. But Rob and Sean vouched for me, and then you're not finna fuck with that nigga and this and that, whatever, nigga. That's and so I begin to start fucking with everybody piece by piece.
yeah.
And then once they saw who I really was, once they got a hold of my character
Hmm.
and all that, I started getting love all around. So now we I'm starting to just come purposely come over the
Right,
hill. Now me, Raymond Dane, we plus Big Cuz Dewan, we can't forget him.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Him and Big Bruh Mick. You see what I'm saying? You can't say Lakeview without saying that, or this and that. So Mick's name through the hood, what it was at that time and all that, and then Juan's name. So, it became me, Dane, Rain, and Dewan.
yeah,
Now we running all through that motherfucker, like
right,
and then Dewan always being over there had already knew everybody. So anybody that I didn't know already took love for me because Juan took love for me.
right, right.
And so as a clique, we'd be outside getting money together. We started selling dope and weed and fucking bitches and doing, the shit we do,
Right.
you know. And from there on, it was here we are.
When did the music start with Mick?
The music started with Mick. That's a crazy story because rest in peace, Ronald Fields Cougnut. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know, and you know better than I know, if you got vouched by him at that time,
definitely.
you had to be doing something or whatever, had to sound like something and doing something, because Cougar to tell you in a minute that nigga get out of here with that shit.
I'm talking about so fast, so quick. Oh, you need
I'm
to.
talking
Oh, you
about,
ain't finished with that, huh? You need to work on that some more.
no, you ain't done.
Another to tell you real
He'll hurt
quick,
your feelings. I've seen him do it.
for real though.
So Pascal, what's up, Pascal Arsenal? Um, Legendary producer, went to go sign with Sony and all that, making music for Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, all
Yeah.
them people like that or whatever. When Pascal was still in the Bay, he was a kind of hard to catch up with kind of guy, but he was doing a compilation, him and Marquise. What up, Marquise?
Yeah.
Um, called damn, National
I
Terrorist.
was
It
there.
was
I
called
was there, big
National.
baby.
You remember that big you
Cell,
was
you
there,
remember
big
Celis is
baby.
on there. I see you, Celis.
Come on
Straight up.
now. So they was doing National Terrorists, and Mick and Pos was like that and this and that. So Mick brought me to the studio, and Pascal wanted me to do a song for National Terrorists. So I did Get Your Paper. This song called Get By Any Means Necessary. Gotta make that scratch. Even if I got a copper sack and rock me up a batch.
Mhm.
Not knocking your hustle. Just do what you can. Get your paper, man. Get
Get your
your paper,
paper.
man.
Straight up.
So I did that song, and then the very next time I came back with Mick, Nut, Ballhead, and Sean was there, and they were doing a song.
Hmm.
Pascal put on my song,
Yeah.
and, and all of them looked at me like,
You do this? You do that?
"You just did that?"
Yeah.
Cougnut said, "Fuck nah." He looked at Mick and told Mick right there, like, "Nigga, you got something."
Right.
So, and then they all loved the song after that. And so after that, Mick fed off the response and said, "Fuck that." Mick was pushing and pulling at that time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, he was like, "Fuck that. We finna do an album."
Yeah.
And that was before, like, now, where you can make an album for a couple $100.
Right.
You
You
just
can't
need
just
the
put, yeah,
beat,
this
the
is
studio.
before SoundCloud and all that shit. Beats
This is
off the
before
internet for
all of
free.
that shit.
It was, yeah.
Mick
I
Mick
People
put up
like,
about Mick put up a bag, a
right.
big bag
Yeah.
on the album.
Yeah.
And so that's how the album started. I got into music after that because yep, the picture in front of the mini man, Fed.
Straight
What's
up.
up, Fetty Eddie? You absolutely right. That one. So after that, shit, it was just up from there. I mean, Mick, I'm not gonna lie, Mick was the first one to believe in me. He saw that and then brought me to Pascal. And then once Cougnut vouched that, once Cougnut stamped that,
Hmm.
it was up from there. It
Straight up.
just I never stopped.
What feature you had? Who you had on the album? What features you had on there?
On that album, I had let's see, I had singing by Martin Luther, The
Hmm.
Martian.
Yeah.
I had Marty on there on that album. I had Spice One on there. I had a song with Spice One, and that's when Spice was hot at that time.
Yeah.
I had a song called Black Boy. It's still on YouTube. Y'all can go look that up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm speaking factual. Black Boy. Um, I had a song with called Last Man Standing.
Mm.
Me, Cougnut, rest in peace. Ballhead Rick and Swoop,
Mm.
rest in peace.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had a song with my nigga Frank Nitty and Chiz, the Cold Assassins from West Point,
Now.
nigga. Rest in peace, Frank Nitty. Um, shit, I had a Jay Hodge. Boy, I got some cold shit with Jay Hodge on there. Um, shit, it was a young Ed, Big Bread Ed at the time.
Yeah.
You feel me? Well, young Ed
Yeah.
at the
Young
time
Ed.
before he was
Yeah.
Big Bread.
Yeah. Inner
I
City
had young
Records.
Ed.
Inner City Records, man.
I had young Ed on there.
Say that.
Vocal by Keisha Griffin.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That was a real
Yeah,
project.
it sold shit. It's still selling to this day overseas. Like it's like a huge thing. It really sold a lot. We just didn't have our paperwork right, and me and Mick didn't do the paperwork right. So somebody got a hold of that, and that shit is all in France, UK. We still get messages and emails from people wanting to buy us out. We've sold everything we had to them. They tried to get me to come over to the UK for a tour and radio show and all this shit. We just couldn't get it together right.
Yeah.
But that shit is big over there. He said they shit plays on the radio every day.
Wow. Where'd y'all
Yeah.
record that album at?
We record that album at part of it was at Pascal's house, and the other part was at Kurt Crumpler's studio with my big bruh SB.
Okay, Kirk
S,
Crumpler, huh?
yeah. The other SB, the other
Yeah.
Sean B.
Yeah.
You understand me? He had the studio with Kurt Crumpler in there. And yeah. So it
Okay.
was like a half and half between Pascal and Kurt.
All right. All right. So, if for people who may not know you, who coming on here, who see you, and they just saw you
Right?
and just didn't know your story, they probably wouldn't know that a short time ago, these conversations were had from a different place in a different circumstance.
Yeah, they were. They were. You're
Um,
looking at a survivor, champ.
how long have you been? How long have you been out? How long have you been free?
Let's see. I've been free since 2017. I made it home February of 2017, so about 5 and some change years now.
Okay. Are you still on parole? You off parole?
Nope, I was on parole from 2017 to 2020. I've
Okay.
been off of paperwork, off of parole, everything free and clear for the last 2 years.
Man, what a blessing, champ.
Yeah, successfully. without going back. Because if I went back, I wasn't going anywhere in San Francisco. They were shipping me back to Georgia
Wow.
if I violated. If I violated,
How long did you do?
I got a 10-year sentence. I did 7 years of it and did the last 3 years, like I said, here on parole
Mhm.
in San Francisco on an interstate compact transfer, a special transfer to get your parole transferred back to Cali.
How does that work?
Cali has to accept you.
Hmm.
When you do a crime in another state, it doesn't matter if you're from that other state. When they release you from there, you're still not supposed to leave that state. So I was gonna get out and not be able to leave Georgia at all.
Mm.
And I don't live out there. I don't have a job out there. I don't have a place to stay out there. I don't have anything out there. So they have what is called an interstate compact transfer where they have to call California, and California has to look at my charges and my everything, this and that, and decide if they want to accept me back into California. They could say, nope, we don't want that nigga. He's a killer. Y'all keep him.
Right. So
But my dad, Big Money Poppy,
now,
pulled strings and pulled a bunch of strings because he was still somewhat active around that time. He pulled strings and got that interstate compact pushed through when it wasn't gonna go through.
all right. So let us rewind back. So you from San Francisco, you from California,
Definitely,
don't have no
definitely.
family in Georgia, you don't live in Georgia. How did you get caught up in a crime in Georgia?
Um, okay. That was I was in Alabama at the time, me and my brother
Hmm.
and my dad was down there doing some shit. And I was fucking with the guy,
Hmm.
Z
Hmm.
or whatever. And he had some things going down there, or whatever. And I was doing some things with him. And so, since I was that close in Alabama,
Hmm.
I thought, hey, I'm only a few hours away. Let me
Okay.
go pick that up real
Okay.
quick. Cause you had that already. Let me go get that.
Right. 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 Right.
And so, you know, we ended up meeting up like that. He drove 2 hours from Georgia, and my brother drove me 2 hours from Mobile,
Hmm.
and we met in the middle. Jumped in with him and Sparks, aka the rapper King Fly, and we drove back. As we got back, I wasn't even there 24 hours.
Hmm.
By the next morning, you know, I
Chaos.
can't even say the next morning, but by 5 o'clock, we were supposed to go to the studio that day to do a song with Young Dro and Young LA. That's what I was supposed to be there for too, to do this remix
Hmm.
that Z wanted me to do. He was heavy in the music at that time, and he was fucking with a lot of stars down there
Yeah.
and this and that. And so I was supposed to do the remix with Young Dro and Young LA. So we was like, we're gonna go to the studio at 5 o'clock. So we were preparing to go to the studio
Okay. Okay.
when basically a masked man broke into the house,
Right.
basically trapped us in the rear of the house. We couldn't get out. It was me and Z, and Z was partially handicapped at the time.
Hmm.
There was nothing he could really do.
Right.
At the time, we all know that.
Right.
And I'm not saying like it was just all on me to say the day, and I was just this big, this and that, but I had to do what I had to do. So I grabbed it, and as dude began to come through the door, I upped it on him like, "Nigga, who are you?"
Right.
And he had a
Same
hood
here.
over his head. Yeah, he had a hood over his head with the strings pulled, so you could only see this much of his face.
Right.
So that's basically a masked man.
Definitely.
And he grabbed the gun,
Mm.
the front of the gun. I'm holding the butt of the gun. He grabbed the front of the gun.
Hmm.
And at this point, with our free hands, we just began fighting.
Right.
Now I was so into the moment that I didn't even really think to just pull the trigger. You'll hit him you'll hit his hand and his chest. He'll get off you.
Right.
It's right at him. I was just so busy fighting and defending myself and trying to get the gun from him that he was 6'3", 6'4", 250, 300 pounds.
Mm. Mm.
I'm 5'9", 170. So he muscled me back towards the bed as we were fighting.
Mm.
And if you just right now back up to your bed without looking, As soon as you hit the bed, your knees are gonna bend. If you're backing up to it, your knees are gonna bend and you're gonna fall on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So as he backed me up to the bed, I automatically fell on the bed and I took him with me. The gun, we're both still fighting for the gun. The gun lands in between us with him on top of me. We were face to face, almost kissing.
Right.
But for that 2 seconds, he froze up.
Right.
And with my hand still being on the gun, I yanked it like I'm trying to start a lawnmower.
Right.
And I put it to his head and I shoot him with him on top of me. One shot, one kill. It goes straight through his head and lodges in his throat, kills him instantly.
Mm.
He's 300. I can't even get the nigga off me. I roll over, finally get him off me. I'm ready to shoot him again. Z is like, hey, man, I think he's done. He's leaking all over the bed and all that. We're like, it is what it is,
Right.
At this point. And it didn't matter that he was a masked man. I'm here today to say that the reason I did the time was because of what I did afterward.
Okay.
You know, I'm
Explain that.
I'm man
Explain that. Explain that, bro.
I'm man enough to say, I take my responsibility for my actions. It wasn't the fact that I shot and killed this man, but what I did was I shot and killed this man, and I left this man laying on the bed, and me, Z, and other guy got the fuck out of there.
Right.
That was 5 p.m. We were on a plane by 9 p.m. I was home in my bed with my feet kicked up by 3 a.m.
Right.
Washing blood off my hand, flew home with blood all on my shirt. Didn't even try to change my shirt. Still had the shit on my wife beater on a plane. With so it was because I left and how I handled it then.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got home, I called my dad, who thought that I was only going to be gone for about a day or two and then come back to Alabama, where I left him and my brother.
You calling him
I
from
called him
Frisco?
from my I'm calling him from my house number at home. I'm not even on my cell phone. I'm on my house phone.
Right.
I still had a house phone at that time. I was living in Hayward.
Yeah.
I was married at the time. Me, my wife, my kid. I call him from there. He like, what the boy? What the hell? How the hell? What the? Listen, I need to talk to you right now, and I need to talk to. I need your
Some help.
professional opinion right now.
Right.
I don't need
Right.
to talk to Dad. I need to talk to
The
Officer Jones.
right. The professional.
The professional. Told him the situation. He said, son, he paused and said, son, is he dead?
Mm-hmm.
Very much so, Pop. Very much so. Um, at that time, Z was gonna fly back down here and thought that he could just explain to them, because of his handicap, that he didn't do nothing, and let him, leave him alone, because at this time we're both in the AJC. We're in California looking at ourselves online on the AJC, wanted for malice murder,
Mm-mm-mm.
with our pictures,
Mm-hmm.
full names, and everything.
Right.
We got out of there so fast that Z left his wallet in the house.
Jesus.
They went through everything, had his wallet with his full name. So the first thing they do is, he's from Cali. Let's check the airports. Whoop, here he goes. And these are the two people that flew with him. So they had my full name and the other guy's full name. They had everything they needed. These are the two guys that was with them.
Instantly.
So now all of our pictures, we're seeing our pictures with our full name, wanted for malice murder
In Georgia.
at home in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to go down there and explain to them that, he didn't do nothing, but he ain't gonna talk. He don't know who did it. He's not gonna say that name. He's gonna let him deal with it, but he wanted to clear his name.
Mm-hmm.
I ran that by my dad for his professional opinion. My dad said, Mike, if you let him go down there before you're going to jail forever. He said, call them, find the lead detective, tell them what happened, tell them you're coming to turn yourself in and you're going to fight it.
Mm.
I said, are you fucking crazy? One of the first few times I ever cursed. Are you fucking crazy? How am I supposed to do that? I can't do that.
Right.
I call Z back and tell him, hey, this is what Poppy said. He said, man, he thought about it and he was like, are you going to do that? I said, I want to do that before you get down there. I don't want you to go down there and this not turn out right because they're not just going to, oh, so you didn't do it, but you know who did it. And you still want to walk out of here.
Right.
You crazy as fuck.
Right.
They're they're about to lock you up until you give up me.
Right.
But he's not knowing that. So I'm telling him that I need to call and do this. Let me handle it. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna tell him it was me. Y'all had nothing to do with it.
Right.
I'm gonna take this and get it off us.
Right. And get ahead
He
of it
said,
too.
oh,
Get ahead of it as
and get
much as
and
possible.
get ahead of it
Right.
because our story is actually
True.
true.
Right.
So if we run from this, they're never going to believe our story in court. They're going to come kick our doors in. If they have to come get us
Mm-hmm.
for us to tell our story, it's already not believable. Because if this is what happened, why you didn't call the police? Why did you run? Why did you leave this guy? Why did you clean the scene and go? I cleaned the scene. I picked the shell up. They never found a gun. They had it in the paper as mysterious death in house. They knew I cleaned the scene, so it made it look like it was a hit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I just did what naturally I knew to do
Right.
or whatever. So
Had you ever been
I'm
in
like,
trouble
oh,
before this?
I'd been in trouble, but nothing like this.
Nothing. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. Right. Right.
I was a high speed chaser. They finally caught me one time and I got felony evading and I had to do some time in San Bruno
Mm-hmm.
and this and that, whatever. But
But nothing
that
like
was
this.
it. My
Okay.
dad pretty much got me out of everything else.
Right.
So the shit that I did get into, caught with a gun, never had dope charges, those type of things, he got me out of.
Right.
So basically, yeah. So I had to get ahead of it and I called down there. I told them who I was, that I am I'm a interested, I'm a party to the mysterious, this and that.
Yeah.
They got me the lead detective. I told them what I did. I gave them my name, social, everything. Look, I'm not playing with you. This is really me. You can look me up. Y'all, you ain't gotta come get me.
Right.
I'm finna come down there and fight it. The way I came at them was so strategic that they didn't kick in my door. And not only that, I caught them in January when it happened. It happened like January 17th or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't turn myself in until the end of February.
Okay.
From me calling them, telling them that, and telling them, listen, I'm coming. Well, when are you coming? What's the other guy's name? I can't tell you that.
Right.
And that's in black and white.
Right.
I can't tell you that. When he talks to you, he'll give you all of that. But I'm telling you, he did nothing. No one else did nothing. I'm the shooter. I'm the one you want. This is what happened. The guy came in, this, that, this, that. I'll come when I can. I have a house, kids, everything. Let me get my house in order, and then I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me 30 days or some shit like that. And
Yeah.
I caught a flight down there, and me and Z was supposed to turn ourselves in
Mm-hmm.
at the same time and fight it. But Z decided that he would let me turn myself in and he'd go on the run.
Mm-hmm.
He basically tricked me in the end. Basically, we were supposed to walk in there together, and by the time I got there, he was feeling some kind of way. Didn't really want to answer my phone. I'm in Georgia, saying where you at. He don't want to. He don't want to tell me where he at, and on some funny shit. And I'm like, bro, we discussed this. This is what we're here for. The only way this is going to work is strategically. We have to tell them our story. One can't be.
Right.
So he ran. I turned myself in, and I was denied bail. I was denied. I was given the worst everything because he was on the run. My first hearing, they were saying, well, if it is what it is, why are we still looking for the other guy?
Right.
Why is he on the run and this
Right.
and that? If it
Right.
was just, and he did nothing
Right.
and this and that or whatever. So it made my story,
Look crazy.
they never dropped. It was malice murder the entire time.
So you never had
The
a bill?
entire
They never gave you a bill?
I never had a bail. My folks tried to put up two different houses,
Mm.
a house in Alabama and a house in Frisco. They said, we know you got money. We don't know.
That's not what this is
So
about.
And by the time they basically said it was so high, by the time they gave me one, I made the decision and I told my parents, I said, nah, don't bail me out. Fuck that. I'm gonna sit here and fight this shit. We saving all our money for this lawyer.
Yeah.
Because we had already gave him a chunk and we knew it was finna get real now
Right.
because they're not believing me at the time.
Right.
I thought it would be as easy as coming in. They got the facts already. They got the guy. He didn't belong there. He's a masked man. The story you should check out. I'm
Mhm.
thinking, nigga gonna walk in there and walk out of there sometime soon.
So what was their idea of, or how was they trying to spin it? Like y'all told him to come, or what was their theory?
Their take on it was they knew what Z was doing.
Mhm.
They labeled us on paperwork. They labeled us two drug dealers, two major drug dealers from California,
Mhm.
two very resourceful people. They had footage of him in the mall, doing his thing.
Right.
He was shining hard. But they had footage, but they took some of his own footage that he had posted,
Mhm.
shit like that, Magic City front row. Like he really had it rocking at that time.
Right. Right. Right.
Like
Right.
he's doing shit that stars or he matter of fact, he's front row at places with stars behind us.
Right.
He has us front row at Magic City and it's 8 ball MJG behind us.
Right.
They in the stands, they can't even sit where we sit. Our feet is on damn near can touch the stage. Fucking uh what is his name? Akon sitting next to us
Right.
with a platter of money
And
through it.
and,
Like we
and, and,
so
and with the A being a small place, I'm pretty sure y'all names and people kind
right,
of had an idea.
right. Right. And then, with having, footage of him with some of the stars and shit like that. So they was labeling us so they made it look like they wanted to say that I was his hit man.
Mm.
Like I come in town for 24 hours and a man ends up dead at the house.
Right.
So these are two resourceful drug dealers. This was a drug deal gone bad. The other guy that came from Alabama was his hit man.
Right.
We knew the guy some kind of way. Fed, you do got the pictures. Hey, the other guy, they just wanted to paint this picture.
Right. Just
It
some
was black on.
extravagant ass picture, yeah.
And then on top of that, they were satisfied with the fact that it was black on black. So we got one guy dead,
Right.
and now we're going to give the other guy forever. Shit, we win.
Right.
This is Georgia. They're still racist. This is the chain gang down there. It's
Right.
called.
Right. 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 So
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 that was
what was the
yeah, that was
original
their take on
offer?
it.
What was the original offer?
The original offer, there was none. It was life. It was the death penalty.
Jesus
They
Christ.
said that in front of my dad in court. That
This is the
Mr.
death
Jones, you
penalty
should take
case.
this serious. This is a capital crime,
Mm.
malice murder,
Right.
and this is the death penalty.
Right.
Yeah. And so after that, probably a year later, after fighting it and a lot of facts coming out and all this shit, they finally offered me 20.
Mm.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that? That might as well be life. Life is 30.
Damn.
The fucking 20. For saving my own life?
And, and the crazy part about that is it's like you said, for you to be saving your life, for you to be in defense, and for them to still be offering you time, that's some crazy shit right there.
Right. Imagine that. Like I got put out of court. I got put out of court and couldn't come back for like 1 or 2 hearings because I asked the judge, like, excuse me, can I speak real quick? And I was like, I just want to say that if I break into your house right now looking like me or this and that, what are you gonna do? You're gonna shoot me dead and they're gonna celebrate you.
Mm.
That same day, your name's going to be on a fast pass, a flyer,
Right.
a billboard,
Right.
every news. They're gonna talk about you like a hero.
Right.
So my question is, how come my life don't matter? This was a masked man.
Right.
My life, I wasn't. I'm being penalized for winning.
Right.
I won the fight. I'm being penalized for winning it.
Right.
And I got, man, boy, all hell broke loose. They stopped my shit. I couldn't come out to court I wasn't allowed to be there the next time they had a hearing.
So how long before they
And then
came down
after
to the
that, I couldn't.
10? How long was that? You
So
said about a year. For about a year is fine, but how long did it take them to come down to the 10?
what they did was they were sticking to the 20, but my lawyer was fired, Carrington Matthew. He was a piece of shit, but he was fired too. He had a couple little methods or whatever. But he was putting in the motion to dismiss because we had them. All the evidence was pointing to what I was saying.
Right.
And at the time, they had nothing else on me. And so when we went back to court for that particular hearing
Mm.
to get it dismissed, when we got there, they dismissed the hearing. When we got there, they was like, "Oh, we're not having it today." And I'm in court when they're telling me we're not having it today. And I'm like, "How? I'm here. I'm here. Why are we not? They done brought me from the jail. I'm fucking here. Why are we not having it?"
Yeah.
They fired the DA and
Mm.
hired two new DAs.
Hmm.
And the two new DAs were there and they were like, "We need time for discovery and all that. So let's waive his hearing for like the next 2 months." In that time, they pressured California. I had a sealed, my dad helped me get my shit sealed,
Hmm.
my records. And so California wouldn't open them for Georgia. Georgia was trying that whole time, that whole year.
What did he
Georgia
do in
wouldn't
California? Yeah.
California wouldn't open them. When they hired these two new, I don't know what they did.
They got him open.
They got California. Oh no, they told California, "Look, this is a capital crime. This guy is up for the death penalty. This has to be overridden. We need you to open that and so we could see what it is. We have a life down here."
Yeah.
And I guess they talked to the right person that day and went over the right person's head. And so they gave them my file and saw that I had a felony, but it was only felony evading,
Yeah.
running from the police.
Right.
Nothing, no violent crime.
Hmm.
So in Georgia, they have a charge called, they can charge you as a recidivist,
Hmm.
meaning a repeat offender.
Hmm.
And if they charge you as a recidivist, they can give you the full term of what the charge gets, plus it's not parolable. Whatever it is, you're doing all of it to the day.
Damn.
100% of it. So because I was a felon, they got me. They're like, "Up, he should have never been allowed to have a gun." The stand your ground law said that I could defend myself up to killing somebody if I felt like I was in imminent danger.
Hmm.
But it had this clause to it, unless there's unlawful use of the weapon.
Mm.
And unlawful use of the weapon was me being a felon. They pulled a clause. "Oh, we got him. He should have never been able to have a weapon,
Right.
even to save his life, because he was a felon 13 years ago." So we can charge him. Okay, I tell you what, Mr. Jones, let's play ball now. You'll beat the murder. Yeah, you were just about to beat the murder. You're
But we
gonna
got the
beat it.
recidivist.
But you're not gonna beat the gun charge. We know you did it with a gun. You should have never had a gun. So that's 5 years to the door. And then we're gonna give you the worst leaving the scene charge there ever is. It's called concealing the death of another. It carries 10 years. You'll get all 10 of that, and we can run those together. So you'll be 30 years, but you'll get 15 to the door.
Mm, mm, mm. With no murder
Unless
charge.
unless you go on and sign off on this 10. If you sign off on this 10, the 10 is parolable.
Hmm.
You may only do about 5 to 6 of it. So you do the math.
Right.
15 straight
6.
or 5 to 6. Either way, I'm not go. Okay, let's just get it in my head. I'm not going home. Let's just get that out the way.
For sure,
They
it's gonna
got
be.
me. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
going
see
home.
Georgia Penitentiary.
Let's play chess with them now. Now let's get the shortest I can. Okay, fine. I said, I'll take this 10, but you have to free Z.
Hmm.
Let let him out, clear him. I'm taking this as the shooter.
Are y'all
I'm
going to
taking
court?
the charge.
Are y'all going to court together or separate this whole time?
Yes, we're going to court together
Okay. Okay.
this whole time until we got down to the end when I took my deal.
Yeah.
With that, the sentencing part and that part was separate. But other than that, we would go to court together.
Right. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so I'll take it. If you free them, you let both of one was already not charged with everything. Sparks didn't get the charge like that, but they wanted him to question. They wanted him for questioning, and he never came in. So they had a warrant out for him just for questioning. They wasn't charging him like they charged us because they knew he wasn't in the house, but they knew me and Z was in the house. So Z had the same charges I had.
Really?
We both had malice murder.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you send him home and free to let the other one go, I'm taking it. I'll sign for it. So they said, all right. So they ran that by his lawyers, everything. They came back and said, okay, okay, to get you, we'll do that.
Yeah.
I did that. And the same day that I signed that and was getting ready to be on the way to the chain gang was the same day they was releasing him. The same day I took that deal right then and there,
Yeah.
he went home that day. They let other dude just left him alone. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Period. I took the blunt of everything 10 years.
Yeah.
Fuck it. By this time, I had already been in Cobb County, which is the worst county. My judge had her slogan. She was running for office. Her slogan was she'd given out almost 2 million years
Jesus
since she's
Christ.
been on the bench.
Yeah.
Nobody gets out of her. They purposely gave her me. Nobody gets out of her court. So I wasn't going home, period.
Period.
So I took my 10. I was already in the county for a year and a half. Went from there to Macon State Prison, was there, and that was the second worst prison in Georgia
How many other
at that time.
when you got there, was there other California inmates there, or not California, but other people from California, or how was that experience?
Not one.
Jesus Christ.
There was 1,793 inmates. 93% of them had life.
Mm-mm-mm.
So you can imagine the mentality. Oh, King Fly just tapped in right now. Did you hear him say, Big Bro definitely cut me loose? Do you read that?
Say less.
There is no
It's documented.
real talk.
It's
That's my little
documented.
bro right there. That's my little family member. That's my little bro right there. He know I'm speaking factual statements.
Right.
So nine. So you can imagine the mentality walking around there. 1,793 inmates, and 93% of them have life.
Damn.
And there's niggas in there 17. In Georgia, you can go to prison at 17.
Hmm.
There's niggas in there ain't even 18 that got triple life. Young, dumb, ain't never gonna be smart. This is all they are. This all they got to. This is what they gonna see the rest of their life
Right.
on some gang shit. And I'm from Cali, and I'm not on no gang shit.
Yeah. When you say Cali, they're expecting you to say blood or cuz or something after, then you like, nah, Bayarea.
Anything, bro. I was the only person out of the 1793 from Cali, and they did not like Cali niggas because they thought we were arrogant. They thought we thought too much of ourselves. They thought we thought that we were better than them, and they were just country bumpkins and all that. They thought we looked down on them, but we fucked with the niggas. I never thought that. My entire family is from my mom and my dad's from Alabama.
Yeah. So how did you navigate that, bro? How did you incorporate yourself? How did you introduce yourself into the mix? What was your thought process?
My thought process was only way I'm gonna get through this is just being me.
Right.
I'm not gonna get out of this unscathed. I'm not going to walk out of here without the same troubles that everybody else go through
Right.
in here.
Right.
But I'm going to have to do this the Cali way
Right.
because where I'm from, we stand for something. You see what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
got morals and principles and just real shit that we stand on, real nigga shit
Period.
that we believe in.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so, man, it was hella hard because I had gang problems. I wouldn't join a gang.
Were they trying to recruit you up in there?
Hell yeah, they was trying to recruit me. I beat up a few of them until they started liking me, and they was like, "Oh, he got hands. That old nigga got hands." I was 35 when I went to prison,
Right.
fighting with 17, 18, 19, 20 on up. I ain't never had a fight with a nigga my age.
Right. The young niggas was trying to test you.
Yeah, they were. They thought they had the easy win. This nigga 36, 30. Oh, they thought he
Oh,
over the
Cali nigga
hill.
by itself. Yeah.
Cali nigga. And then down there, the gang shit is different. See, a lot of niggas is in joint gangs down there just for the protection. They wasn't with the gang life on the street. They
Right.
joined the gang in the
Once they
prison to
got
keep
there.
them getting robbed, raped, beat up, uh uh what's that? Extorted
Right.
and all these things.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I had it extra hard because I would not join a gang.
Right.
In my head, I'm fucking 35, 36 years old at this time, 37. I'm like, nigga, if I was gonna bang, I would have banged in Cali.
Right.
I'm not finna start being a gang banger at 30 something.
Right.
Y'all crazy. So it was what it was. It was extremely hard. I done been robbed. I done been stabbed. I done had to do a rob. I done had to do some stabbing.
Right.
I done several fights. I done won some, lost some, been jumped because I'm winning.
Right.
I had to start faking fights. I had to start letting a nigga you beat a nigga, five of them coming back. So who really won that?
Right.
So, I had to start doing shit strategically because I was all I ever had. I never had a friend in 7 years. I met some people that I still fuck with. Damn, Raymond G just said, tell him about the lawnmower blade. Nigga, it's niggas in there, nigga. They don't have knives, nigga. I'm gonna do that for my brother Raymond G, nigga, and for motherfucking DG, nigga. Rest in peace, nigga. My motherfucking brother. Um, Nigga, they wasn't coming with little pokers and knives. Them niggas had lawnmower blades,
Mm.
actual lawnmower blades. They would take them off the lawnmower, and you would hear niggas in their room at nighttime. Shh, 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 shh. You couldn't sleep, nigga. You'd hear that all night. Nigga been sharpening that motherfucker. It'd take a couple days to sharpen it. You hear niggas sharpen it all night, not even sleeping at night.
Mm.
Hours. Nigga, if they hit you with that lawnmower blade, your
That's
arm
it.
falling off.
For real.
Ain't no cut, nigga. You gonna be without one.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's got weight to it. And so, yeah, I've been through all of that shit. And part of it too, as I said, as a man, I'm going to accept responsibility that when I first got to the chain game and got to prison, I felt like the only way to fit in was for me to do what I would have done on the street, and that's shine on niggas.
Right.
So I was in there, nigga. My first package, nigga, I had polo everything, nigga. Polo shorts, polo white tee, polo wife beater, polo boxers, polo half socks, polo long socks, polo towels, polo jamas, nigga.
I want to
I
know.
had it all.
Right. I'm from
Full
Lake.
box of food, two of everything.
Right.
So I was shining on niggas walking around there looking like lunch.
Right.
I caused problems on myself around broke niggas that have forever.
Now that you think about it in hindsight, I'm pretty sure it's more
Right.
identifiable for you now when you look in hindsight like what the fuck I should have been low profile. I'm high profile as a prisoner could get at that time.
At that, and then not being from there, and these niggas are territorial. They really territorial. They don't give a fuck. All different parts of Georgia fuck with Georgia. All you gotta be is Georgia.
Yeah.
They ride with each other.
Right.
I don't have nobody, even if I have a friend, he's not gonna ride with me against somebody from Georgia. And all these niggas
Period.
are from Georgia.
Right. That's like and that'll be the end of the
Yeah.
friendship. If you get into it with somebody else from Georgia, that's
No,
the end of it.
it really was the end of it because niggas and then niggas is so slimy that they would know that you were about to get jumped or somebody's coming to try to rob you. They would know because they would come and tell your friend, hey nigga, stay away from him, nigga. We finna come run up on this nigga. You better not do nothing.
Right.
And you'll watch your friend walk away, not know what they done said to him. Nigga, your friend won't come around you, nigga, for a week.
Mm-mm-mm.
Your nigga won't come around you for a week. Them niggas been done ran in your room, nigga, 100 niggas.
How old
Your
were- how
roommate,
old how old were your kids when you left?
when I left, my daughter Kayla was in the 8th grade. She was 12, about to turn 13.
Mm.
My son, Lil Mike, he was 2. My daughter Lisa might have been like she's a couple years older than Kayla, so like 15 or some shit like that. 14, about to be 15
Right.
or some shit like yeah.
How did you think that time affected the relationship that you had with your kids?
It was terrifying for him
Mm,
because anybody that really knows me knows my story of how I raised my daughter by myself. Like her mom got killed when she was 2 years old. But I had my daughter from 6 months old, like a year and a half before her mom even passed.
mhm,
So I'd raised her. She's a daddy's girl.
mhm,
You see what I'm saying? So I'm all she ever knew. Like, she knew, she loved my brothers and she loved my mom and dad and all that. But she had one diehard parent, me, daddy.
mhm. Right.
And so at this time, that was devastating. She got one mom dead and dad fighting malice murder in prison.
Mhm.
Three 3,000 miles away where they can't just come every weekend.
Right.
It cost them $1,000
Right.
to come down there and see me. Mom, daughter, son. That's $1,000 easily that weekend.
Right. For sure.
So I would just only have them come see me about 3 times a week on my, no, I mean 3 times a year. Once on my birthday, once like around Christmas time or something like that, and
Right.
then once sometime early in the year.
Right.
So by the time I would get to see them, I really needed to see them. And then I could go a little longer and then see them again, go a little longer. I was at breaking point. I would space it out to almost breaking point.
So you couldn't take no more almost.
Right.
So who was standing there that first day when you stepped out?
It was crazy. Um, they released me and moms had got me a plane ticket. I'm talking about already had my plane ticket ready, nigga. I said, don't take me, don't. My cousins came and got me from the halfway house. I said, I don't want to go to a strip club. I don't want to go to a bar. I don't even want to stop at a McDonald's. Take me straight to the motherfucking airport.
Get me up
Got to the
out this
airport,
room.
the fuck up out of here.
How long was you
Got
in Georgia?
home,
How long was you in Georgia from the time you turned yourself in till you got on the plane to go home?
7 years.
God damn.
7 total. Turned myself in February of 2010, got released February of 2017.
Mm.
Yeah, so got home, got off the plane. I'm down there waiting around the baggage claim. And my big brother Chuck, I love him to death. One of my biggest supporters, man. My brothers are everything, man. Big shout out to my brother Warren and my other brother Chuck, man, have been my lifelines as well as Raymond G and Damon G and motherfuckers like that. Matt the Cat, my little cuz Matt the Cat, nigga held me down like niggas did shit that they really didn't have to do, blood. I got shown love. That's why I am the way I am today, because there's some real niggas out there that really, you know, did
Right.
some shit that they didn't really have to do while I was in there, held me down and looked out for me and fuck with me, even if it was just to talk to me and support me and talk me out of shit and keep me calm and cool.
Right.
So, I'm at the baggage claim, and my brother Chuck runs in there and just grabs me from behind,
Mm.
picks me up, picks me up and just starts swinging me around. He's in tears. I don't even grab my bag yet. He drags me outside to my brother's Range Rover,
Mm. Mm.
and my dad is in the passenger seat.
Mm.
Rest in peace, Poppy. My dad is in the passenger seat, and my brother is right there too. My brother Warren. Those were the first people that I saw was my brothers and my dad. And man, I mean, it was the craziest thing ever, because for 7 years I just believed that I was never going to see this shit again.
Mm.
I was never gonna see. And the whole time I was locked up, I had never seen my brothers.
Mm.
My brothers hadn't flown down to see me, period. But that was strategic and this
Yeah.
and that. It was only mom and the kids, my dad, and shit like that.
I hadn't seen my brothers
Mm,
in 7 years, but they fucked with me, helped me do everything. I just hadn't seen them.
right.
So that was like, that was crazy.
Like
Drove
a
me to the
movie.
house. My mom cried a
Parent, they
river.
about to
She
cut us
seen
off,
me.
parent. We had an hour, parent. That was quick.
It's
We're gonna
crazy.
do a part two. We're gonna have to do a part two because they're gonna have to cut us off.
We gotta do a part two.
We got 15
We gotta
seconds
do a
left.
part two.
Tell them about Manish TV.
Hey,
You
what's
got
up,
about
Walter
15
Yayo? What's up,
seconds.
Yayo?
Tell them what
Hey,
you gonna do.
listen.
15 seconds. Tell them what's up.
15 seconds is on and popping. Y'all get ready for part two, man. Manage KIU conversations, man. It's a
Love you.
lot.
Love you, parent. That was dope.